Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, the locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's Beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Yes, it is time for Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all coming back for day number, Trey. Truly appreciate that. It's been a heck of a journey so far. We've talked about a lot of incredible things. I see my boy been jamming, so I'll use his little moniker, Amazing Things. You can hear Jamming with Juice, 7 to 9 a.m. every single morning. Get your drop of juice. But here on Truth to Power, we take you on an adventure of many different things that I care about and things that I believe are important to our community to discuss. But make sure if you want to tap into the conversation, you hit us up at 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to text line, 833-212-1017. And also, I know y'all coming in right now, coming to the party, come to the community. You can come into 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Yes, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure you watch and stream us live. Join the party. I'll be joining in on the party. I love to engage with you all on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to our page. Well, today I wanted to start with a little something that was on my mind, and I was scrolling down my timeline. And as I was scrolling down my timeline, I saw this cool little story. And it was about a story about a husband standing up for his black queen. Now, as a man who is a son of a black queen, a nephew of many black queens, who has cousins who are black queens, friends who are black queens, a man that supports black women, I love when we support our black queens. That's something that I just don't stand up against. I absolutely love uplifting black women because black women in my life have been so powerful. Black women in my life have gone on to help mold me into the man that I am between the men and the women, right? And so I saw this story today that I said, well, this is a feel-good story. And I know a lot of y'all haven't seen it, so I wanted to bring it to you all, Truth Nation. Now, a couple weeks ago, well, let's go a little bit further back. November 5th, 2024. We all remember that day. That was Election Day. On Election Day, Donald Trump beat Kamala Harris. The race was basically over instantly. And so when somebody loses an election or somebody maxes out their time in the office, they have a transition of power. That's just how democracy works here in America. You do your time, and then when your time is up, you go ahead and you transition to who the American people have elected to be next. Now, as part of that transition, there's also other elected officials that get elected. And January 20th, as we know, is Inauguration Day. But before that, U.S. representatives get sworn into their position in the House early January. And U.S. senators, newly elected U.S. senators, also get sworn in. And during this is a great ceremony, a great celebration of success, of being able to have the will of your people, your constituents, vote for you, right? When it comes to these state elections, U.S. Senate elections, House elections, you don't have to worry about electoral map and winning states. No, you have to worry about winning your district, winning your state. The constituents vote for you. You have to get more votes, purely more votes than your opponent. That is the will of the people. And so during this transition, Vice President Kamala Harris is the one that gets to swear in those who will be part of Congress starting, in the start of 2025. She was doing her job. And one thing that bothered me was when she was doing her job, a gentleman blatantly and purposefully disrespected her. And what bothers me is when I see a white man disrespect a black woman, it infuriates me because it takes me back to people thinking that we are less than. And unfortunately, I was born in the 90s, right? But I still have situations that I encounter where people try to make me feel like I'm less than. I was blessed to have a mother and father who emphasized to me that you do not let other people treat you any way you don't believe you should be treated. They gave me the confidence and the belief in myself that I was worth something. So when I see somebody try to disrespect somebody, specifically, particularly a black woman, it makes me a little mad, makes me a little upset. So I want y'all to go to YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube, because I want y'all to see a video that infuriated me of how Vice President Kamala Harris was treated by the husband of an incoming U.S. Senator. Make sure y'all watch and stream live right now on YouTube.
My husband, Bruce. Hi. Do you want to come here, Bruce?
Is it kick on the ground?
In the middle. Scoot over a little.
No.
It's okay. We're white. We're gonna fight. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States? Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Especially for your work. Thank you. Congratulations to you.
Handshake.
Okay. You're welcome.
Handshake. Zach, take it back real quick. I just want to go. I want people to see what I'm saying.
Okay, sure.
Okay. That way just a little bit. There you go. Thank you so much.
Vice President Kamala Harris.
Thank you. Congratulations. I swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Goes in for a handshake. She shakes the U.S. Senator's hand, and she goes to shake the husband of the U.S. Senator's hand, and he looks at her hand and nods and says thank you and refuses to touch this black woman's hand. This white man refuses to shake the hand, to touch the hand of the second most powerful person in the world, and Vice President Kamala Harris. See, I was mad about that because that's how we get treated so often. You can make it to the top and still be looked at negatively because you are black. For this white man to think it is okay to disrespect the office, to disrespect the moment, to disrespect somebody being a good person, a courteous person, simply shaking your hand. This woman lost an election and still went about her duties. She didn't go and incite any riots. She didn't say stop the steal. No, she lost and she accepted the results and still did her job. But here's a white man who decided he wanted to disrespect her and disrespect the office. He didn't see it as a chance to shake the hand of the Vice President of America. He saw it as a chance to say, I wouldn't dare touch her hands. The disrespect and the audacity. Now, I know I gave y'all the background, but this is where the story gets bright. And this is where I talk about protecting black queens. Now, one thing I truly believe is love, right? And when it comes to love is love, I don't care who you love. I don't care if you're a black woman married to a white man, a black man married to an Asian woman, a man married to a man, a transgender woman married to whoever they want. I don't care what you do because that is your personal decision. That's your life. Love is love. Kamala Harris is married to a white man, a Jewish white man by that. And with him being married to a black woman such as Kamala Harris, I think it's important for him to understand the importance of standing up for her. Because so often people will try to discredit her. So often people will try to say that her credentials of having a JD, being a lawyer, those aren't good enough. Because too often black women in America, their credentials are ignored. They're some of the most educated people out there, but they have to fight. They have to struggle. simply because they are a woman, and then you add on top of that, they are a black woman. And so when I saw this story about an interaction that happened recently between Doug Emhoff, who is Kamala Harris's husband, and the gentleman that you saw there, Mr. Fisher, who is the husband of Deb Fisher, I applauded. Because he saw the interaction between his wife, the vice president of the United States, and that gentleman, and it didn't sit right with him. And as somebody that comes from a place where we stand up for our family and we stand up for the women in our lives, I had nothing but the utmost respect for what I'm about to tell y'all here. So Doug Emhoff had an opportunity to become face-to-face with this gentleman, Mr. Fisher, who disrespected his wife. And so when he had an opportunity to come face-to-face with him, this gentleman saw him, and you guess what he did when he saw Doug? Because when you see somebody, what do you typically do? You say hello, you greet them with a handshake. Well, this gentleman, who did not shake Kamala Harris's hand, saw Doug Emhoff, and he attempted to shake his hand. When I tell y'all Doug was not here for that, he was not here for it. I quote, this gentleman went in to shake his hand, and you know what Doug said? Doug said, "Why would you try to shake my hand when you wouldn't shake my wife's hand last week?" And so at that point, he stood on business, called out this gentleman, and protected his black queen and Kamala Harris. And what did this gentleman do? He immediately apologized. He said, "I'm sorry for that." He apologized. And my whole point in this is that we need to continue to protect our black queens, because I don't like what went on during the election with Kamala Harris, but it's over. But what I have to give applause to, and I have to give not a congrats, but give props to, is this white man doing what we yell and scream all the time. Protect black lives, protect black women. And so I just wanted to take the time to share this story of Doug Emhoff seeing the man that had smoke with his family and letting him know, "Don't you touch my hand because you disrespected my wife," and he apologized for it. And so I love that. I love that he defended his wife. So the moral of the story is love, and for the many men and kings out there that have black women in their lives, make sure y'all do what Doug did, a white man. Make sure we are always protecting our black queens at all costs, because damn it, their lives matter too. You're listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And on the other side, I gotta keep talking about some January 6th stuff, because yesterday we had a caller yesterday, and he said January 6th was a hoax and it was staged, and I didn't have time to dive into it, but I sat down and I thought about it, and I said, boy, we got a problem. We got a problem when we're thinking events that I saw with my own two eyes were staged. And it got me thinking, and we're going to talk about this on the other side, 833-212-1017. Do blue lives really matter? You're listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. When we come back, I want y'all to ponder, do blue lives still matter?
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. This Wednesday, the Milwaukee Panthers head to Ohio to take on their Horizon League Conference foe, the Wright State Raiders.
Panthers ball down 69-63. Folks turns the corner, gets in from the left, and scores going glass. 69-65. Panthers down 4. 4:07 left.
Scott Warris has the coverage Wednesday starting at 5:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 6 o'clock.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Happy New Year means a lot of rough days ahead for those who suffer from seasonal affective disorder. Plenty of gray, frigid days on the horizon where we all just want to be snuggly and warm at home. That's where Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin comes in. Their inviting doors welcome friends and family into a cozy home thanks to Pella's gorgeous, energy-efficient windows, keeping the cold out. Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin showroom today so you can learn the Pella difference and get inspired on making your home more energy efficient and beautiful with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hurry, you only have until January 31st to score Pella's New Year's special. 0% interest for up to 3 years. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
What the f is that? What the f is that? That's how I step on you. Yeah.
Before we get back into it here on Truth to Power, I have to tell you about Gruber Law Offices. If you get here, you say, what is that while you driving your car? Well, do know if you get into an accident, you can contact Gruber Law Offices and they will truly take care of you. Don't go back and forth with the insurance companies. Get with the winning team that can help you win your case, but more importantly, fight for the money that you deserve, but also help you with the healing process. If you need to go to physical therapy, they got you. But they focus on the legal process. Well, you can focus on simply healing. I remember when I got into a car accident, all I had to do was call them. They made sure my car got taken care of. They made sure I got the physical therapy, and they made sure I got paid out for all the things that I deserve. So I'm telling y'all this right now. If you need a winning team, if you ever get into an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today at 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666. And remember, when you make that one call, that's all, to Gruber Law Offices, you never pay a penny. You never pay a single cent until they win your case. And they are a winning team at Gruber Law Offices, so visit them at gruber-law.com. That is gruber-law.com. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. We were joking in the during the break because I paused when I said truth to before, because I was going to say truth be told, and then this time I was actually going to say truth in the afternoon because I was reading somebody in the chat, and shout out to y'all in the YouTube chat. I love that y'all engage here, so make sure y'all go and watch us live on YouTube. Hit that like button. Also subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. We are in our road to 4,000 followers. But then on top of that, I was talking to DJ Brother Z and Jason. They was talking about he was going to say truth in the afternoon, and I was like, no, I'm not. And then I almost just said it. Shout out to Dr. Ken Harris, Truth in the Afternoon, right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, every single weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. But getting back into business here, on the other side, I was talking about a conversation I had yesterday with a caller, and it really pondered on my mind quite a bit because I hate when we try to eliminate events or we try to change the narrative of what happened with events that we saw with our own two eyes, right? And particularly in this one, what bothers me with the pardon of the 1,500, 1,600, almost 1,600 people is that I've heard for many years, like, the terms of back the badge, right? Like, I see people who drive around in their cars that have a badge on there that says back the badge or back the blue, which I ain't got no issue with it. right? I hear people talk about Blue Lives Matter, right? Which I don't like where that came from because it was after we said Black Lives Matter. And then also when I think about what happened January 6, 2021, I just think about how they always tell us, you know, stop resisting. If you just comply, right? Like all you have to do is comply and everything will be okay. Well, that person wouldn't have got murdered and lost their life if they just complied with what the officer said. And so I feel like people are trying to rewrite the history on January 6th. I feel like people are trying to let time go by and try to say, whoa, that didn't happen. Oh, no, they let them come in. What it was. So I decided today, because Truth to Power is all about making sure that everybody is educated, making sure everybody's informed, making sure that we have a community conversation, and making sure we're entertaining, because I care about all that. But the education, to me, facts, because that's all. Listen, I can have my own opinion, but I like to believe my opinion is based off of facts, because facts is the only thing that we know to be true. Now, we can look at the facts and determine them and have our own opinion based off them. But at the end of the day, facts are facts. And so now what I want y'all to do, make sure y'all go and watch us live on YouTube. I'm going to have DJ Brother Z play a nice video from Vice that relives what happened January 6, 2021, for those who think that the police just opened up the doors and said, come on in, crowd, let's have a party. For those that think it was a hoax, for those that think it wasn't a dangerous day, there's a great video that Vice created that goes through, they were there, that goes through just raw footage and video of what they saw on the ground. Make sure y'all go and watch right now 1017 The Truth, because this is a great video and a reminder that you don't let them rewrite history.
On the surface, Wednesday started like so many Trump rallies had before. But the anger and the tension felt more intense. Congress was about to confirm Joe Biden's presidency, and most here were convinced it was a fraud.
Do you think people are angry today?
Yeah, absolutely people are angry, and you can feel it. You can feel the rage, the madness.
Before Trump's speech was even finished, many were already making their way to the Capitol.
Stop protecting tyrants! Stand down!
And as more protesters arrived, the mood darkened.
Hold up, man! Hold up, man!
We're here at the Capitol steps right after the Trump speech was finished. People started filing over here and started pressing against the Capitol. Police are spraying mace and pushing the lines back so people can get through. We're going to move forward.
USA! 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 Come on!
But
as y'all are seeing here, we're going to mute in between because there's some vulgar language that was used in there. And we're going to mute in between. But as you can see, this ain't no peaceful protest. This ain't people just being walked in. This is an aggressive mob, a riot. People got on masks. People have weapons. That's what they're using right now.
Who's your covering? This is CNN? Better not be CNN.
Police started throwing flashbang grenades and spraying mace. As the crowd pushed up, one man flashed his handgun at a group of journalists. The cops weren't prepared. They had to take turns with the masks to protect from their own tear gas. The defense lines quickly fell apart.
This is our country. We want it back. This was nonsense. This was absolute nonsense that happened. And so as you continue to watch and you continue to see the destruction the trespassing, the treasonous actions. Don't let them rewrite history, people. This was not peaceful. They did not just open the door to let them in. This was complete nonsense of what we saw. And I think we have to understand that when you allow for people to rewrite history, it is a very, very, very dangerous act. We are living in a historic moment, people. We are. People who literally went into the Capitol, they trespassed into the Capitol building, are now free. They are being told that their actions that they committed, their crimes that they committed, is all okay because it was for one man's ego. You stroked my ego, so you have freedom. You can be lawless. Yes, lawless if you stroke my ego.
It went from worse to worse, sir.
It sure has gone from worse to worse, sir. And I think we have to understand that we cannot allow this to happen because I remember a couple years ago, and you can Google this, is that they will rewrite history on everything. Think about slavery. There are people who deny that slavery actually happened. Yes, there are people who deny that we were in bondage, in chains, right? And if you don't believe me, think about these textbooks that they have down in Texas. And if you don't believe me, Google Texas slavery textbook. You just Google that. And what you will find is down in the state of Texas, they have books that they put in schools that basically say when it comes to slavery, that the Atlantic slave trade got African workers, right? Not slaves, African workers to come be on, work on agricultural plantations. See, that language is so important because what it does is diminishes exactly what a slave was. It says workers. Worker sounds willing. Slavery sounds free and forced. And when you change that language, people just think, oh, it wasn't that bad. There's people out there who deny the Holocaust as well, the Jewish Holocaust. They try to say that never happened, right? And so when we look at all these events like Sandy Hook, where 26 people were murdered and 20 of those people were under the age of 7, people will say, oh, well, Sandy Hook was a hoax. Sandy Hook was faked. It was a staged event. No. You can't tell 20 people, you can't tell 20 families that lost a child under the age of 7 that this was a hoax, that this was a staged event. So we have to be very careful because they will rewrite history. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to text line. I want to hear from y'all on how you feel about 1,600 people being pardoned. Yes, being pardoned for their acts on January 6th. Am I off base? Am I too far? I want to know, is it okay for these people to be pardoned? 833-212-1017. You can hit us up on the 1017 The Truth Talking text line, or you can call us as well at 833-212-1017 because I truly want to hear from y'all. Am I off base? Am I just making a whole bunch of something out of nothing? Because I still want to answer the question, do blue lives really matter? We'll talk about that and so much more because what we found out yesterday with those pardons is that blue lives only matter when it comes to black bodies being murdered in the streets. We'll have more and so much on the other side. You're listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King described a true education as one that successfully combines intelligence and character. Concordia University prepares learners for meaningful lives of leadership and service to meet all of life's callings. They offer world-class programs online and face-to-face in a faith-based, student-focused environment. Classes are small, opportunities endless. Visit cuw.edu to learn more. I'm 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris, and I'll be at the MLK Prayer Breakfast at Concordia University, Wisconsin. And while this is an invitation-only event, I invite you to listen to the event live on The Truth Saturday, February 1st from 10 a.m. till noon. The brunch at Concordia University, Wisconsin, hosted by Walter Goodwin, director of the Office of Multicultural Engagement, is a gathering honoring the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, a time of reflection and prayer. The theme of the brunch at Concordia University this year is Upon This Rock from Matthew 16:18. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be a Truth family party where we will celebrate the unsung heroes of our community and we roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and includes free food, free drinks, and free Truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snime. The Ohio State Buckeyes are college football's national champions after they dominated Notre Dame on Monday night, 34-23.
Leonard sails that middle of the field where it's caught by Greathouse. He's tackled at the 40. Tackled by Jordan Hancock, and Ohio State, national champions, beating Notre Dame tonight, 34-23, the 9th national championship in Ohio State history.
It is the second year in a row that a Big Ten school has won the college football national championship. Over the NBA, where Bucks forward Giannis has been named the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. This is Antetokounmpo's second Player of the Week honor this season and the 25th of his career. The Bucks are in New Orleans. They'll take on the Pelicans Wednesday night. And lastly, over to college hoops, where the 10th-ranked Marquette Golden Eagles will travel out to take on Seton Hall tonight. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. The sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Try, yeah. I like white folks, but I don't like you. All in the hood want to fight you.
The award-winning 1017 The Truth is proud to be the home of Milwaukee Panthers basketball. The Milwaukee Panthers hit the road and head to Ohio to take on the Horizon League Conference rival, the Wright State Raiders. Scott Warris has the coverage tonight starting at 5:30 on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m.
No, we can't be a slave for him.
This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, 833-212-1017. That is to talk the text line. And we were having a conversation about, is it okay to pardon the January Sixers, and do blue lives really matter, right? Because what I've been told is that blue lives matter, right? Back the badge. But as you saw on the video that we played from Vice earlier today, is that is all a fallacy. That's not true. It is not true, because if they mattered, police officers having to share gas masks because they are not equipped to, defend themselves against the mob, the 1,600 plus people that came to the Capitol to try to overrun the Capitol. And so I really thought that blue lives matter and back the badge matter. But 833-212-1017, I want to hear if you think that blue lives really still matter. And Ron from the South Side, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts on this conversation today? And thanks for joining Truth to Power.
Thanks for taking my call, Kyle. You know, when I first heard this, that Donald Trump was flirting with, you know, there was a political prisoners, all that if he was to get in, he would free them, all that. I was kind of like, well, this is some bull crap. But now that I think about it, I don't think the January 6th went far enough. I think they probably should have beat the police more. And I'm only saying that because look at the last election. If you can recall, how many police unions backed Kamala Harris in public, on TV, on record? How many police unions? Not many. So that shows to me that they don't even care about their brothers and sisters in blue because they would have came out all over the country and said, you know what, we're not going to vote for the man that sent the mob to kick our, you know what, all up and down the Capitol steps. So since they don't care, I don't care. And I do not hate the police. But if you don't show that you have respect for that badge and you let them spit on you and do everything else on January 6th, and then you still don't back the woman who said that she will protect you and make sure that you have your rights protected as far as when people are trying to beat you down, and this man wants to slip you out of you don't vote for this woman? No, I don't care about it. No, they should have did more.
Ron,
but not sorry.
Ron, that is a great perspective of what you had of talking about how do you expect me to support you and feel bad for you if you don't even support and feel bad for what happened. So that is something that is very powerful. And when he said that, it really resonated with me because as I was doing my research, and again, I felt it was important for us to set the record straight on January 6th, right? Because people keep using the word insurrection. And I want people to stop using that word insurrection because people don't know what the heck that is sometimes. We just need to call it what it was. It was a violent uprising against the American government. That's what it was. That's yeah, it was a coup attempt. That's exactly what it is. They tried to take over our government, right? And to me, it was a complete treasonous act that we saw that day. You should never, ever threaten any American official or politician. You can go to jail for that. You can literally go to jail for threatening people. You were trying to commit a felony. And what's crazy to me is that I can't believe that now Donald Trump, now he is the president, had the audacity to send these foolish, low IQ individuals, these brainwashed minions, to go wreak havoc on our U.S. government. Now, what we also need to understand is that people were assaulted that day. See, elected officials had to leave the building. Police officers got injured that day. One police officer suffered a stroke during these attacks and went on to die a day later. And nobody cares. How can you say you want to have law and order, but you're okay with lawless individuals doing this? They harm the people that protect and serve us. A man lost his life because of that nasty, disgusting mob that stormed the Capitol that day. And on top of that, what we have to understand is that not only did a man die, but these people, they assaulted police officers. They caused mental trauma on officers. There were 174 officers that day that reported some type of harm or injury. 174 people who are in the uniform, who are protecting us, told their job that I was assaulted. 174. And what makes things even worse, 4 officers died within 7 months from suicide. They died by suicide based off the traumatic things that they experienced that day. We have to understand that this was a traumatizing event. We cannot rewrite history. And again, it bothers me that you have 174 officers who were assaulted. You have 4 officers who died by suicide 7 months later. Now, can I 100% correlate it? No. But they sure tried to correlate the fact that it may have something to do with what happened here. You had an officer have a stroke on the job while he was trying to defend the Capitol. And y'all sit here and say it's okay. So again, I ask, where are Blue Lives Matter at? Where are the people who are up in arms screaming, Blue Lives Matter? Where are the people that say, I back the badge? Because you cannot back the badge and be okay with 174 police officers who protect our communities every day were harmed and assaulted by a mob of criminals, of thugs, who were just released from prison because they did it in the name of their God, Donald Trump. Why don't I hear this mob of people who love to support Blue Lives? Why aren't they here? And you know what makes it so angering for me is that when we talk about Blue Lives Matters and Back the Badge, it seems to me that it only comes out once, right? I only hear comply. They should have complied, right? Because they'll tell you, they'll tell you, Truth Nation, is that they'll tell you Breonna Taylor, if her household would have just complied and opened up the door, she would still be alive today. They'll tell you that Michael Brown, had he just complied with the officer, he'll still be alive today. They'll tell you Walter Scott, if he just complied, he wouldn't have got shot in the back. If they'll tell you Laquan McDonald, we could go on and on. They'll tell you a 12-year-old Tamir Rice who had a fake, he had a toy. He had a toy, was shot and killed, a 12-year-old. And you know what makes this even worse? Because it's beyond Back the Badge. Trayvon Martin was murdered and killed by a neighbor while he was walking home. And people just said, well, if he just would have talked to the grown man at night while he's walking home from going to a convenience store, maybe he would be alive. It's malarkey, it's garbage. And I just want y'all to understand that I'm starting to think that blue lives only matter when they're taking black lives. 833-212-1017. Al in Sherman Park, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Thanks for calling in. Your first time on Truth to Power.
Hey, how you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great, Al.
So I always want to look at these things with some balance. So I look at it as a riot. I have a friend who worked in the Biden administration, and he was getting all apoplectic about the riot at the Capitol. But yet when I told him how many times I had riots around my house, or I had to flee from downtown because the Black Lives Matter were marched. We had to do that 2 days in a row from our office. And one day they actually had a confrontation with the police, and they were setting off explosives or fireworks or something. I could see the smoke because as I was driving home, I was looking. Was it up 6th Street or 4th Street? One of the two streets. I could see the smoke. So I got home. I was watching the news. I was like, well, this is crazy that these people are fighting with the police. I think the police had bicycles, and they were trying to hold the crowd back with bicycles. I don't know if you remember that whole period. But anyway, so I was really upset that he was more upset. He wasn't even in that building that day. He said his boyfriend or somebody was in the building. But it's like, but where was your concern through all the marches and riots that summer? Now, I think you should be held criminally liable when you harm people anytime, right? So a pardon does not mean you're not guilty. It means you're guilty of the crime, but after they release you, you're not doing doing your probation officer. You can still vote and those kind of things. So restore those rights. You are declared guilty of the crime.
But you still get to get some of your you get some of the freedoms back that other people don't get for doing less things.
You get it back a little quicker. You get it back a little quicker.
Or if you were supposed to serve like 18 years in prison or jail, you get out and you don't have to serve the time. Okay, so I hear you, Al.
So the balance comes in. I want to know what was the least amount of service someone ever done for assaulting a police officer like this, and what was the maximum sentence they did. And then I can kind of have a comparison of how everybody has been treated when they get sentenced for assaulting police officers.
I appreciate that, Al. I appreciate that. I mean, I think he brings great perspective. And I also want to say is that I, for one, I am not one that believes in rioting, and I don't believe in some people having acts against police. Like, I am against that. I am okay with protest, right? I'm okay, even though I may not like it. I'm okay with the people going there, right? And using their American right that they were born with, that they can protest, right? You have the right to assemble. But when it crosses a line, you have to have some type of punishment for the acts that were committed. Pardons are basically allowing people to say, okay, well, you served your time or whatever it is, but you're good now. We can't do that. We cannot do that. It sends the wrong message. Because 4 years from now, we may have another situation. Trump's not going to run in 4 years. It's not going to happen. But somebody from that same vein or MAGA might run again. And he has laid the blueprint. He has done that. And we don't want this to happen in our country ever again. 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talking text line. Make sure y'all keep bringing in with the text. Keep hitting in with the calls. But also keep hitting us on YouTube. 1017 The Truth on YouTube. But Gary from Milwaukee, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Is this my Gary? Is this the Gary I know who always called in to Dr. Ken?
It is.
Hey,
it is.
Gary.
How's it going?
It's going well. Good to hear your voice, brother.
Good. And listen, I just want to say, listen to the last gentleman. You can't conflate the two. One was based on a lie, and one was based on people being tired of blacks being killed by police officers for no reason. So, and of course, you're going to get up in arms at some point. And you just named a bunch of people that the cops had killed. And I think about Tremere Rice, 12-year-old boy. That cop killed Tremere within 1 second. If you ever watch the video, the cop didn't even get out of the car before he shot and killed that 12-year-old boy. So, yeah, people are going to get tired of it. This country was taken by violence. But what I call to say is you're talking about these Capitol Police. So this is what I think about protecting the blue. I don't believe that police officers or these police unions really saw the Capitol Police as police, because it's so political and that they protect the Capitol. You see what I'm saying? So they're not beat cops. They're not out in the cities dealing with this crime every day. Their primary job is the protection of the Capitol. So they don't see them as being regular cops, and so it's a political thing, and so they kind of like look down on them and frown on them. That's kind of like when I was in the military. You had the people that the honor guard, like I was a war fighter for 20 years. Then you got guys
Thank you for your service.
in the Army Reserves or the National. You're welcome. So we had guys that were in the National Guard or Army Reserve, and at some point we kind of looked down on them because we were active duty. We did this every day of our lives, and these guys come in 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks out of the year to do to suit up and do their job, right? So you kind of like look down on them. We kind of did look down on them, although it wasn't right. And so I think they kind of look down on these Capitol Police as, those them guys that protect the Capitol. They don't do the job that we do every day. They're not out fighting crime and all this kind of stuff. So they don't respect them, right? So
yeah, they
don't really. So it's kind of like how do I want to say? Pick and choosing.
Yeah.
Instead of supporting every person that wears that badge, that has swore an oath to protect, they look at them as, oh, they're not really like us, so we don't really care about them. Hey,
Gary,
oh well, that happened to them. It's too bad.
No, Gary, I appreciate you calling in, and I think, Gary, you have a really good point. I think you have a good point, but the one thing I'll say is that I just truly believe people get to pick and choose what they're mad about, right? People get to pick and choose what they're upset about and what they want to represent. Is that though they may not see them as police officers, they're law enforcement. Like, people know they're law enforcement, and I guarantee you, I promise you, if 1,600 Black Panther members went into the Capitol that day, they would still be in jail. Like, that is just the fact of the matter. If that was the Black Panthers that stormed the Capitol that day, the words that would be used to describe them would make them feel like the scum of the earth. And this ain't just like a white or black thing. This has everything to do with power, right? This is Donald Trump having the ability to tell people, if you do it for me, I got your back. Don't wait, I got you. It's shameful, and it's beneath that Oval Office that he is in. The oath that he took, without putting his hand on the Bible, but I ain't going to make a big deal out of that. But the reason why this is so dangerous, Truth Nation, is we have to understand that this is just a playbook for what could come. J.D. Vance is next in line. And when J.D. Vance, in 4 years, starts running for president, if he loses the election, he will do the exact same thing. Why? Is because there's no repercussions for actions. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. I'm Kyle Walsh. I've been doing Truth Be Told here. We've been having a really great time, having a great conversation, talking about January 6ers, the rioters. I know. Thank you. Yeah, you matter of fact, anytime I do that, Zach, make sure you call me out. We can break the third wall. Listen, I went in a whole different direction. I'm looking at the phone, doing other stuff. Listen, Truth to Power. Listen, Truth Nation. We're going to take some calls on the other side, but when we come back, we're going to wrap up the show, and we also going to answer the question, do blue lives still matter?
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Tune into The Truth this Saturday at 11 a.m. for another episode of More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin. Me, your girl Noni Juice, will be joined by Sarah Noble, principal partner of B Noble Group, and Angela Lang, the executive director of Block. And we are going to be discussing the post-election climate, reflecting on how everyone is feeling after the results, and where do we go from here now that the outcome is clear. So again, that is More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin, this Saturday at 11 a.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Happy New Year means a lot of rough days ahead for those who suffer from seasonal affective disorder. Plenty of gray, frigid days on the horizon where we all just want to be snuggly and warm at home. That's where Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin comes in. Their inviting doors welcome friends and family into a cozy home thanks to Pella's gorgeous, energy-efficient windows, keeping the cold out. Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin showroom today so you can learn the Pella difference and get inspired on making your home more energy efficient and beautiful with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hurry, you only have until January 31st to score Pella's New Year's special. 0% interest for up to 3 years. Certain restrictions apply. Visit PellaWI.com.
Now is the perfect time to join the Nextdoor family. Whether you're a parent seeking the best for your child or a professional ready to make a difference. At Nextdoor, children thrive in small classrooms with 2 teachers, exploring art, music, and STEAM. With special needs support, family resources, and kindergarten readiness, every child gets the attention they deserve. And they're also hiring. Enjoy competitive pay, great benefits, and opportunities for personal and professional growth in a fun, welcoming culture. Make a real impact in the community. Join Nextdoor today, where every child, every family, and every team member matters.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets.
Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
More of Truth to Power is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
1, 2, 3, ho!
Tune into The Truth this Saturday at 11 a.m. for another episode of More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin. My girl Carrie Noni Juice will be joined by Sarah Noble, principal partner in B Noble Group, and Angela Lang, the executive director at Black Leaders Organizing for Communities. They will discuss the post-election climate, reflecting on how we got here and where do we go now that the outcome is clear. Again, that is More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin, this Saturday at 11 a.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm Kyle Wallace, who took us on a nice adventure here for the last almost 60 minutes, and I appreciate y'all tapping in and calling in. And we talked about 2 things. So what did we learn today? The first thing we learned is protect our black queens, and shout out to The former second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, the husband of former Vice President Kamala Harris, who ran into a gentleman that disrespected his wife and did not shake her hand during a ceremony. And the gentleman tried to shake his hand. He said, absolutely not. How you going to put your hand out there to shake mine after you didn't shake my wife's hand? We don't do that in this household. So shout out to him for protecting his wife and protecting his black queen. In addition to that, I asked the question, do blue lives matter? And y'all responded and let me know, hell no. And when I say that, it means that they don't really exist. And that it's just, yeah, there we go. Shout out to Sherwin Hughes. Hell no, because of the fact that blue lives only matter. Backing the badge only matters when it's a way to exude power over African Americans, when it's used as a tool to justify the abuse of African Americans. When I think about Tamir Rice, and I think about the fact that the police officer that shot a 12-year-old who had a toy gun, Timothy Loman, the former Cleveland police officer was never charged for murdering a 12-year-old black boy who had a toy gun. His incompetence was allowed because he shot and killed a 12-year-old black boy with a gun. He got another job somewhere else in West Virginia, but he never spent a single day in jail. This is the America that we live in. So always remember, Truth Nation, is that blue lives don't exist. They're just used to justify the beating, the killing, and the discrimination of we, the black people. So keep fighting, y'all. Definitely keep fighting. But this has been Truth to Power on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I have been Kyle Wallace. Shout out to DJ Brothers D. And shout out to y'all on the Truth Talking text line, also on YouTube, for tapping in today. Up next is the Tory Lowe Show. I'm out. Peace.
Dallas.